My grandfather infused me with a childhood love for certain things. A VHS tape or two, an unhealthy addiction to carbonated poison, and among other things, a love for model railways.
And now, back to Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends on Cartoon Network.
Now granted, a bit of that love probably came from this TV show I was practically glued to in those days, but I credit the old man for giving it the jump start the hobby needed. He owned a few locomotives and even built a layout for us. It was a simple loop at the time, and even with very few engines and rolling stock, it won me over for years. When you're 4 years old, just watching a train go around a circuit of track several hundred times a day can be fascinating to watch. Also, I just want to make it clear, this footage is not mine. I have almost nothing from the 90s, so if I stole your video clips to fill this section, I dearly appreciate it. He died in 1999, but my dad helped 6-year-old me keep the hobby alive. We eventually moved the small layout to the house attic and spent years expanding it. What you see here is from 2006, during some landscape work. My dad and stepmother were creating a car park next to the main station as well as a papier-mâché tunnel. I had no idea how this stuff was made, but I trusted their judgment and their skills, so I just let them work. This wasn't the final version of the layout. The tunnel will get painted over, and we did change a few things over the years, but when I found these clips on an old, dusty CD, I was amazed to look back on something I hadn't seen in years and forgot even existed. The video clips, not the railway. Now, since this is Video Memories, we have to talk about some physical media, and beyond that CD, we do have some stuff to look at. You go to the occasional model railway convention, you pick up a few things. We have On the Right Track, a beginner's guide to model railways, a VHS tape labelled simply as Model Railways, no idea what the deal is with this. And last but not least, we have... Wait, what is it? Oh yeah. Hang on. So, as a follow-up to the last review, when I talked about promotional VHS tapes and I threw this specimen at the door, the cassette broke. In this case, one of the tape guides and parts of the cassette shell, rendering the tape unplayable. I could, in theory, repair the damage by extracting the tape rails and adding them to a new cassette shell. It wouldn't be the first time a tape has been repaired in this collection. But what's the point, really? I've made it clear many times that this VHS tape is hot garbage, so all I'd be losing is that front label. I assure you, as much as this tape sucks, I didn't plan for this to happen. And if I'm being honest, I don't know if I picked this up at a railway convention or if it just came with some crappy product elsewhere. It's been 5 years and I've got no info on it. It could have been from anywhere. You know what? Just forget it. Okay, that gives us 2 to look at. Let's do model railways. Well, for starters, the front cover looks remarkably stock, even with that vague generic title. You read the back of the case and it just screams short promotional release. There's very little info on here in terms of production dates. The best we have is a 1996 copyright date on the cassette. The whole thing gives off the feeling of bootleg. But let's check it out. Well, it's model railways. It's exactly what it is. What you get is a group of enthusiasts talking about their model railway layouts, evidently from an exhibition from sometime in the early 90s. There is very little in terms of substance in the very short 25-minute runtime. Fade in, small bit of music, footage of a model train or two, you better hope it's in focus, brief commentary from builder/enthusiast, more stock music, cut to black, and rinse and repeat. The VHS case talks multiple times about this offering a look at the railway world in miniature. I think that's given it a bit too much credit. You get basic clips of railways, and any information you get will more than likely be super vague, not to mention incredibly out of date at this point. This is the kind of thing someone would film with a VHS camera, make multiple copies of, and sell at conventions at super cheap prices. Which is no doubt what happened here. The end of the tape says it can also be available for $9.99 including postage, and I'll be damned if I'm paying that much for something like this. If you're a hardcore loyalist to the hobby, it's fine, I guess. Otherwise, you'll be bored before the 3-minute long introduction is finished. I'll cut it a break and give it 2 out of 5, but let's be real, it's not great. All I know is I made it 15 minutes before losing interest. Like I said, it just feels like a homemade bootleg, down to the stock VHS case, the bland as all hell content, the generic on-screen text at the end, and the fact that despite the cassette itself having a supposed runtime of 37 minutes, the main feature only runs for 25 minutes, after which there is a further 20 minutes of black. I am not kidding. Once the end credits finish, the VHS tape will run for an additional 20 minutes of nothing. Okay, for this, it's losing a star, 1 out of 5. In terms of promotional VHS tapes, it's not as bad as Chad Valley, but man does it come close. Alright, let's check out On the Right Track. The tape seems to be from 2000, so it's a bit more recent. Excellent, something from this century. Okay, brief intro, and we have a guy with 40 years professional experience telling us how to build a model railway in your own home. He goes into detail about the best material to use for baseboards, including the right tools for it, how to design a track layout, which types of track to buy, how to put track together and keep it secure, how to make scenery with the right materials, what kinds of trains and rolling stock are good for beginners. Outside of how to service a locomotive, this video has everything you could possibly need. Really, this release is remarkable. It goes into much more detail than I expected. I never saw this much with the Disney holiday planners. Imagine if those presenters told you how to pack your bags and how to navigate an airport. Not even Neil Buchanan was that in depth, as good as Art Attack was. I have no desire to make a new model railway, but I found what Mr. Dave Slater was saying to be truly fascinating and engaging. In terms of VHS promotions, I hesitate to give it 5. It's 23 years old, I don't know if any details are outdated, I have zero knowledge about how to create a model railway outside of laying track in buildings, so I have no idea on the degree of accuracy. So let's be safe and give it a 4 out of 5. Very detailed and highly informative. And if it's not entirely out of date, it's available on DVD, so if you're getting into the hobby, go get it! Okay, that's 2 more done. 1 good, 1 not so good. I don't know, something just feels wrong. There you go, old friend. Sleep well.
All the world will love you just as long as you are.